Welcome to Lacey's Lineup. It's your girl Lacey, and I told you guys I had a big surprise for you. We were so excited. We left the studio, and we are live at Dallas Cowboys headquarters here at the Star in Frisco. It's the happiest place on earth, and I told you it wasn't Disney World, but oh man, it is just a different atmosphere here. And I am ready to break it all down with my guest, my brother Sean. He's here. He's a Cowboys fan, and he's ready to rock and roll. Welcome to the show, Sean.
Thanks. Good to be back. What a day. What a day.
Yeah, and we will get rolling. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about the draft. So let's not waste any more time and kick off Lacey's Lineup Draft Day. All right, we are live at the Star in Frisco. Things are happening literally right behind us, Sean.
Yeah, it is.
If we press our ears close enough, we might hear something.
You might. I'm pretty sure. Just be careful.
I know, but talk about this atmosphere.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, you can see behind it, like just being here, you can feel it. It's like we're already at the night draft right now in my head because this is football. This is what it's all about right here.
I mean, just pulling in and just seeing just them starting to set up, walking in. I mean, it's just a whole different feeling.
It is.
I mean, it has to be. I mean, for us, huge football fans, like just the excitement coming into the room.
Well, didn't we just hold the Lombardi trophies just a little bit ago?
We did. I do have pictures of the Lombardi trophy. It is heavy. It is amazing. It is motivation, Cowboys. Like, we need another one. Let's bring it home to Dallas. Let's not waste any more time. But speaking of that, we got a lot to talk about with the draft.
We do.
I mean, it's going to be a day full of, I think, some we know for sure. Some I think we're going to be surprises, right? So I can't wait to talk about it. We're going to literally tell you all our thoughts and opinions on it, where we think things are going to get crazy. But let's just start. I mean, we're at the Star. We're huge Cowboy fans. I mean, we got to talk about the Cowboys. How do we feel about them entering into the draft tonight?
This is going to be an interesting one because unlike times before where the Cowboys have pretty much they've had isolated pockets of what they had a need in, whether it just be like defensive line or linebacker. We've got a lot this year, a lot. We had key people leave. I mean, basically it was a fire sale to the Commanders for a lot of them. But, I mean, we've got places that have needs for improvement as well. So you're going to have to base this draft on not just what you want to improve that's already there. You're going to have to fill gaps for places that we have key players that are no longer with us. So it's going to be interesting. They got to be really strategic with this one.
Yeah, because in the past we're not known to be big in the free agency or do a lot of trades in season or make those blockbuster moves. I mean, the Trey Lance thing I thought was even kind of out of our realm, right, when we went after him. But we're used to not doing much and doing well in the draft. I mean, we produce pretty good draft picks, but the holes this year, the people that we have lost is kind of where I'm at my concerning point.
Yeah, and some key ones, too. You got to look at Tyrone Smith heading out. Big gap there at left tackle. I definitely think that needs to be addressed as a priority. And you look at Tony Pollard's departure. I mean, we're really slim at running back. I mean, we've only got Dowdle basically, and we need some more. We need more prestige at that position. I mean, just to make the run game there. And then we also, with Beata's out, we got a center opening. I mean, these are what I think are clutch needs at this point. But then you also have the areas, like you probably can imagine, that we need to improve regardless.
Yeah. I mean, anything's an upgrade, but we got to address the needs right away. And it might not be the fun picks or the big names that other places are going for, but we got to get offensive line, defensive line, and definitely a running back, which I do feel running backs will be on the board when we need it. So that's kind of where, do we take the running back first or do we go after the line first?
I think you got to go for the line. You have to. If you've got two key positions out, and plus, the left tackle position with Tyrone Smith leaving, that's the blind side.
Yeah.
So that's for not just your run game. You're protecting your quarterback there. I mean, that's a huge one.
I mean, your running back can't run if you don't have anyone to block.
Well, and then you got a center too. So I mean, like, what do? You got to get one or the other. It just depends on looking at the availability of the players and what we predict, which I'm pretty sure we're about to break down in a bit.
Yeah.
It's for the availability is a big center class. So that's there. That's a good thing for this draft. But you got to look at like how many offensive tackles are available on top of what running back. If something falls, that's what's going to shake it up.
That will be the shake, and it'll kind of be do you think the Cowboys will do any type of trades early on, or will it be in the later rounds?
Yeah, I would say later rounds. The only thing, and I don't think they'll do it, I'll just go ahead and clear that up right now, but the only thing I could think they may do or could possibly do in the first round is trade down to try to get more, maybe second or third round picks to cover that gap with the fourth round pick that they don't have this year.
Well, we did. We just took Trey Lance early in the
season. We did. We drafted that pick last year. Yeah. So, yeah. But, that's the only thing. I don't think they'll do it, but that's the only thing I could perceive possibly happening, because that would be the only thing, in my opinion, that would make any kind of sense.
I think the only time it makes sense is if who they're locked in getting gets taken or something crazy happens that throws them off to where that they can move on.
That'll shake it up.
So we'll see. There's definitely a lot of needs for the Cowboys. I know we're not going to be able to fill all the holes, but I really hope that we can plug a couple of them tonight.
And don't forget about linebacker, too.
Linebacker is going to be huge because we're going to have to keep Micah Parsons on the line. He's going to have to be an edger at this point.
And obviously Van Der Esch is retired now, so there's no hope, sadly.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes, but we'll come back to the Cowboys. There's a lot still more to talk about. But the vibe of the Cowboys here, it's just got me excited. Like, even though I've been worried because of all the holes and all the off-season stuff we lost, being here, I feel confident we're going to get it done tonight.
Yeah, I have a good feeling.
If not tonight, maybe before season starts. Let's see what we'll get at the draft, and then we'll figure it out. So, great. Well, okay, let's talk about, I know we could sit here and probably break down every pick for all 7 rounds because we love football literally that much. But we're not going to do that to you guys. Don't worry. We're only going to talk about the top 10 because I think it's important to kind of see. There can be a lot of things that happen in that top 10, with trade ups and trade downs. But everything in this order right now, so we're just going to kind of break down the top 10. Personally, Sean, I think the top 3 are locked.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that one because it's just... It would really shock the world if any of those picks weren't any different, basically.
You got to look at it. Bears have been pretty much guaranteeing that they're going to take Caleb Williams at USC.
He's already there. Yeah. He's already in Chicago.
Look at it. When you plan on wanting to have a kid, you don't just have the kid and do it. You prepare the nursery, they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah, he's already there.
Yeah, they've been, they have him ready to bring home. They already have his bring home outfit.
There's no stress in his mind right now. He's just going to show up, relax, walk on stage, put on the first jersey, and stay in Chicago.
Yeah, he will be in Detroit tonight for that, I'm sure. Yeah. But Bears locked in. We're both in agreement with that. Caleb Williams, USC quarterback.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He did come from OU. He did leave. So, little side note, me and my brother are huge OU fans. But we loved him at OU. We hated when he left to USC, but we'll still support him.
Yeah, I blame Lincoln Riley more.
Lincoln Riley, yeah. We're going to blame Lincoln on that. But Caleb Williams, I still think, is a little bit of a question mark. I think there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this, and I feel like Bears are still drafting the same type of quarterback that hasn't been successful in their program.
Well, you could say that, but one thing I do want to point out for Caleb is when he got pulled from OU, when he followed Lincoln Riley over to USC, it's been exposed that Lincoln Riley pretty much put the weight of that team around his quarterback. If you look at it, there was really no defense at USC.
Lincoln Riley is not known for defense.
No. Yeah, we could say that from OU as well. But, it was really exposed there. Yeah. But then, he had, a decent offense around him. But the pressure, the whole success of USC was literally riding on Caleb's shoulders. So if you take that and you put him in Chicago, where he's going to have a lot more. They've got 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
But look at all their team is actually not that bad. They just need a quarterback.
Yeah.
So if you have someone that's been there and had to haul the weight of the team the entire time, hey, it could be a really good fit there.
That's true. We can see what he does. It just seems like more of a Justin Fields type of quarterback where shorter statue running, has a great arm. I hope that they develop. They're just not known for developing those type of quarterbacks. So we'll see how it goes. But they definitely prepared him. They rolled out, we call it the green carpet, right? The turf. So they got it ready for him. So Bears are that. Commanders, I think it's a lock-in Jaden Daniels.
Yep, has to be.
LSU quarterback. I mean, I don't
They need a quarterback.
They need a quarterback. I don't see them. Jaden Daniels, I think, fits what they're trying to do over there.
Mm-hmm.
It would get really interesting as if they did take somebody outside of him, like a Drake May. That would just change the whole script on everything. But I think Jaden Daniels, hasn't been talked about a lot. It's just kind of been locked in, and I think they've been focusing on their next round picks.
Yeah, I think so too. And they had a big free agency, obviously.
Yeah, all the Cowboys just rode a bus over to.
It was the NFC East shift.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole NFC shifted.
Well, true, yeah.
Like all the Giants went to the Eagles and all the Cowboys went to the Commanders. It's just crazy. Like if you're going to leave our team, go outside of the East. Like we don't want you.
Go to the AFC.
Yeah, go to the AFC. Love that. I don't want to play you anymore. Thanks. All right, Patriots. Patriots definitely still need a quarterback.
That's where Drake May's going to go.
I love Drake May. He
good.
might be my favorite quarterback in the draft.
Really?
Yeah, I love what he did at North Carolina. I like his play, and I think he fits the Tom Brady feel of the Patriots.
That's a
You
big
heard it
one.
here. That was a bold statement. I did say it. But I do. I love the way he plays. Like if that's who I would take over. He would be my number 1 overall pick.
Okay, well, wow. I don't know.
He does it all.
The top 3 they're all quarterbacks so far.
Yeah.
They're all good.
They're
all good in their own
I mean, this is a huge
dynamic.
quarterback
But
class.
Yeah,
so.
it is. It's very quarterback heavy. And we haven't had many of those lately where we had this much talent in that position and this much need from a lot of teams. So, yeah, no, I mean, Drake May, absolutely. The Patriots need one bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it goes 1, 2, 3, the way we just listed it out, which I truly suspect that it will, then, yeah, they're going to have to take Drake May. I mean, that's not even a decision maker for them.
I mean, that's the top 3. It could be in a different order, but
those quarterbacks will be the first.
Those quarterbacks will be the first 3 picks. Yeah, for sure. All right. So those 3 are locked. At number 4, I feel like this is where it could get interesting. It could. This is where I think the first trade is made.
I think you're up to. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yep. You're up to something.
This is where the first trade is made. So listen to me. Listen out.
All right.
Arizona trades to the Giants. They just do a swap-a-roo.
The G-men, huh?
And New York takes J.J. McCarthy, Michigan.
Okay, I could see that.
Because Arizona doesn't want a quarterback. I mean,
Sure.
I think they could take one.
They would take one. They would.
But they're not going to waste it on that when they're still riding with Murray.
Well, I'll kind of compare it to what I perceive. I think Arizona's going to keep that, but they're going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. because they want a wideout. That would be their reason to stay for that one. Otherwise, I could see that happening, and I know the Giants need, so that's very possible.
Yeah.
But I think Arizona needs a receiver too bad.
And I do. This is kind of a wild card if they do it, and they would have to. But see, them trading would make them. That's only if they're not going to go after Marvin Harrison, because if not, at 5, Chargers will take Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh yeah, no, he's not going to stay alive long.
No. So that's my thing, because I have the Giants or the Arizona switching at 6, and that means that they are locked in on Rome Odunze. Odunze. Is that how you would say it?
Odunze, yeah.
Odunze.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm
Okay. So I'll just say that. Okay. That's one possibility. Let's say this. So I'm thinking for the next round, or the next pick 5. This is the one that I think there might be a trade on. I'm looking at the Chargers with the pick, the Chargers trade. But it's not that the Chargers want to trade. It's that the Vikings will want to trade because they're sitting at the 11th pick. And we all know they have arguably the best receiver in the NFL right now.
And they're not letting him go.
And no, he is not going anywhere. But they don't have a quarterback. I mean, Cousins isn't even there anymore, but even if he was, there was still some struggling there. They didn't open up that offense that they wanted to around Jefferson. So who needs a quarterback? Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to come in right at the time when the Chargers are on the clock. The trade's going to go through. They're going to give them some more second, third round picks. And they'll just have, I mean, it's not like too big of a drop for them in the first, but they'll give them some more second or third round picks for sure. Maybe even some later rounds.
I mean, you're going to have to give a lot.
Well, I mean, it's all up to the Chargers.
You're giving up Marvin Harrison.
Because you know who they want. The Vikings want to take J.J. McCarthy. And I think that would be a good fit for the Vikings.
But what if Arizona does do what I say they're going to do?
Then the Vikings do not trade the Chargers.
I actually have Vikings staying at 11, but getting Bo Nix from Oregon. I think Bo Nix will drop that far.
But
I don't
that's a
think
good
that's going to
assessment.
make Justin Jefferson very happy.
No.
But
that's another thing. That's why I feel like somehow Minnesota is going to try their best to get up high enough to get JJ. Because like we said, the top 3 quarterbacks are going in that order.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any trades. It just might, like you were saying, it might be in a different order. If anything, I don't even think it'll do that.
Yeah.
But McCarthy would be your next best option.
And that's what they talk about. So JJ McCarthy, coming from Michigan, and then you have Harbaugh now at the Chargers. Does anything get weird? I mean, you
that's
can't
not a
give up
coincidence,
Herbert, though, right?
No.
Like Herbert.
No, Herbert's fine. Yeah. The Chargers are fine at quarterback.
I would take Herbert in Dallas.
Yeah. Who wouldn't? But I'm just saying, like, yeah.
But I'm just saying he loves this kid. Harbaugh loves this kid.
He does. Well, yeah.
But I think he needs to love Herbert more in this situation.
He
Herbert
does.
is really, really good.
Right.
But it could get interesting if Harbaugh, he is a wild card.
He is.
In the NFL world now, he could shake it up really big and try to go after JJ and maybe trade something else.
So you could see it.
I can see it.
All right, yeah.
I can see it, yeah. So I have if Chargers will get Marvin Harrison Jr., and then I said Arizona would trade Giants and get Rome.
So it's funny. We kind of have, you think it's going to happen pick 4. I think it's going to happen 5. So it's right there in the middle.
And normally, brother, sister, I'm normally right?
What's the next topic?
Just checking. All right, so who do you have if Giants stay there? Who are they taking?
They have to take Malik Neighbors. They need receivers bad. They need a lot of things bad, but definitely in receivers.
Yeah, we don't need Malik and Jaden Daniels to do another Burrow chase situation. Like, let's keep them on separate teams, please, especially if Jaden's going to the Commanders.
Right.
All right, so then we got Tennessee. Who do you have Tennessee picking at 7?
Tennessee needs a line. I don't see them passing on Joe Alt. Joe Alt, offensive tackle, Notre Dame.
That's who I have.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but so it defines the
because
need.
He's not a huge name. I mean, he did great things, but he hasn't been talked about a lot. It's funny that we landed because he's Notre Dame, offensive tackle. Tennessee did really good in the offseason. I mean, they took a couple from us. They've been collecting. So their offensive line is where they need to focus. And I actually put Joe
He would
Alt.
fit in great with that team. I can see that happening.
That's funny. All right. Well, we're in agreement on that. We're not doing too bad. Kind of agreeing, except for a couple of changes. But 8, Atlanta. They stay where they're at?
Atlanta needs a defense. And so I'm thinking they're going to be looking out. There's a good edge from UCLA out there. That's why I think they're going to take at 8, Latu.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I could say that name, so I'm just going to agree with you. But I stayed on the defensive side because I think their needs are defense. But I'm going with Quinion Mitchell from Toledo.
Really? Okay.
Crazy name, dark horse name, but he's a cornerback. I think he will help them tremendously in Atlanta. So
at least we both agree that they need to help with that defense.
Defensive side, we're in agreement with that. I just went cornerback first
Okay.
round. So we'll see what happens there.
Either one would help that team.
Yeah. All right. So number 9, Bears have yet another pick. Are they keeping it? I'm saying no, but I'll let you go first.
This one I had to think on because this one is kind of they've already got their lotto pick first off the bat. They could play with this one. So we'll see how many people want to move to this. But if they do keep it, there is no way they're going to pass on Rome Odunze on this one.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Only if he's still on the board,
You get
right?
Caleb Williams first, if that's what they go with, which, I mean, like we already talked about, he's already in Chicago. So, but then you get a receiver with that kind of explosiveness that goes with him.
Well,
I see it.
I
If they stay.
I don't think he's going to be on the board. I think no matter what, Marvin Harrison and Rome will be gone. It'll be the Chargers and Giants in a different order.
It could be.
Not the Giants, the Cardinals.
Well, in my mock draft, he is available there. So if he is, they're taking him.
No, that's good. So I threw another wrench in this. I think Chicago trades, but they trade with the Colts.
And why so?
And so that Colts can get Brock Bowers.
Well, that would be a big
tight
move.
end. That's their need. So they're going to trade this pick, give them their first round, and give them an additional 3rd round pick.
That could play out. That's a big
Brock
need.
Bowers, I think he goes in the top 10. He
Oh,
should.
He's
I know it's
he's a tight end that's not only good on the line, off the line, but he can line up and actually play. And he actually did in the SEC as an X receiver.
Yeah.
What a tight end.
Yeah.
That's like a whole package.
He was Georgia.
So absolutely, yeah. No, I see that.
Does he
no
remind you?
argument.
Does he feel like a Jason Witten in the making?
I think he's more dynamic.
You think?
Well, because he can play as like a wide receiver, basically. I mean,
Will he run without his helmet?
I would. No, that was legendary.
The rule changed after that. That's hilarious.
I love all the pictures are still out on that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I could see that playing down. I'll tell you, like I think the Jets keep that. Or sorry, are we on 9?
9, Chicago.
I thought we moved on. I'm getting so excited. It's draft day. We're at the Star.
I know.
But yeah, no, I think Chicago keeps that. But that would be a plausible trade. So I'll watch for that because the Colts, Indianapolis, that is a need for them. So that's a need. That's a good guess. I'll be curious to see if that happens.
And I'm like you. That's why I kind of landed on that spot because Chicago gets their big hitter. They had a lot of the offseason, and they can afford to pick up more rounds to pick up their players and give up a very crucial spot for another team.
Yep.
So could Dallas move up to 9? Would they do anything there?
No. No, like I said earlier, the only thing that they would do is move down, and the only reason they do that is to try to make up for having that gap with round 4. But I don't see them doing it. We have too many needs. We need that first round pick.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so let's round out with 10, the Jets. Are they staying there?
Yeah, they're staying there, and they're taking Brock Bowers.
No, because he just went in 9.
No, not in this scenario.
No, and you're mock. So I have Brock Bowers gone. So I actually I went with an offense, but I went with the line. So I'm going J.C. Latham from Alabama.
Yeah, I could see that happening there.
So offensive line. So for the top 10, we're in different orders, but we stayed on the same side of the ball. So we were in agreement of teams needing defense versus offense.
You just had one more trade.
I had 2 trades. And I think Vikings, like I said, I threw in my 11th because I think Bo Nix goes from Oregon to Vikings.
Well, if they don't make that trade, I think you're spot on with that.
Because I think that's the best available after that.
I just think they want that quarterback.
Okay, Vikings, would they go Bo Nix or would they go Penix Jr.?
I think they go Bo Nix.
You think Bo Nix?
Yeah, I think Bo Nix.
I think Bo Nix. Is it? He's like older, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't he been in the league for a while? So that could play a factor. I've heard like the age thing though.
Yeah.
It could be something. So
we'll see. I still think they're going with McCarthy.
We'll see how it goes. But I really think, the top 10 is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Let's get through the front 3. They've already had their hype for the past 2 weeks. We all know it's going. Oh, yeah. And then I want to see what happens. Like, let's make it interesting. NFL always does.
I had fun just talking about it now.
I know, right? I'm still getting so excited
tonight.
here. I know. I'm glad it is too. But all right, so we did the top 10. Let's go back to our beloved Cowboys because I really need to think what I feel like we need, and I need reassurance from you that we are going to be okay this season.
Okay, I'll do my best.
But, we are number 24.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to get any more first rounds coming up. So I'm going to shout out to OU, and I'm praying that he's still on the board, but I really hope we take Guyton from OU.
Boomer.
Offensive line, that's our biggest need. We got to get the offensive line, and he is the best one on the board.
You know, it's funny, for that first pick, I have him taking the same person. So, like we were talking about earlier in our needs, I feel like offensive tackle should be addressed as our biggest need. It is the blind side, that left tackle spot. You have people that can shift, but, you have to get another tackle. And there's not as many offensive tackles that are at elite, could be starters immediately, at that level in the draft this year, than there are centers.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm picking that, on the part of the line that I think we need to address first. You've got to get the best talent available for you. And Tyler Guyton is a great talent right there. He's projected to go in the top 20 anyways.
I know. I'm a little nervous because I do have Tennessee and Jets needing an offensive line really bad, or offensive tackle. And so I'm scared that he might go to one of them before we can get there.
It's possible. I'm hoping it doesn't, because the way I've played out just this whole first round, in not just mock drafts, just in my head, just looking at the availability and the actual needs of all the other teams, which I won't break that down. That'll be a separate cast if you want to.
Right.
But I think that based off their needs, there is a high possibility that this is the pick that we land on. But how are we going to pay? If he's there, how do you pay? If you have a need that bad, how do you pass on a 6'7", 322-pound?
You don't. I've seen him in person.
Yeah.
He really is that tall.
And he's the sixth best, in this class, offensive tackle. He's the sixth best ranked by multiple sources. But honestly, he would be a great addition. Now, I will say, if for some, I hope not, I really want him to get Guyton.
Yeah.
But if for some reason he does get snagged right before, I don't think it'll be, but probably like 1 or 2, 3 picks maybe before ours, if it happens.
Make it dramatic.
Then at that point, then you're like, that leaves us with Graham Barton for center. I still think you need a lineman.
That's not bad. See, I actually have Tanner Bartolini from Wisconsin as the center that I would like.
But I have him. I think they should take him in the 3rd round.
Oh,
I think he'll be available.
2 centers.
No.
If Guyton.
If our offensive tackle's not available at that point, I'd go ahead and snag the good, like the elite center. So I mean, you can still get Bortolini I believe he'll be there in the 3rd round. So, but Barton will be gone if we take Guyton. Like I project Barton will be gone before. That's why I'm thinking let's go ahead and get the tackle. Mm-hmm. Because we have so many centers, and that's what I was saying at first. That's why Bortolini will be there.
That's true. I just want it because I like his name.
Both will be good. Ideally, we need that tackle. Like I'm going all in. I hope our 1st round pick is Tyler Guyton.
Tyler Guyton. Come on, we're putting it. See, we're here. Let's throw it into the atmosphere.
That's right.
Let's get it through the vents, right? Like, yeah. All right. So let's say we get that. Next one we don't have until 56. Do you think we hold all the way to 56? Anything we're trading there?
I think we do unless we see there's a threat to not get Trey Benson. We have to take a running back then.
I know. Is that you're going with Trey Benson?
I'm going with Trey Benson, and the reason is because we need an instant impact player. He's actually a bigger, faster, younger, in all of those categories than Michigan's Blake Corum. He's got vision and run instincts. They tend to be spotty sometimes. However, he runs hard off tackle with the burst and balance to stay afloat through the contact. That's something we didn't even have last year, even with Pollard, because Pollard, I think we both agree, is more of an edge rusher.
Yes.
We lost that power back.
Physical.
That's where Benson takes the cake on this one for me.
Do you think he can pass protect too?
We can teach him. I have no further comment on that.
I like Benson, but I actually had slotted for running back Jonathan Brooks from Texas. I know he's coming off of injury, but guess who his doctors were? The Dallas Cowboy doctors. So we kind of feel like we know what his health progress is already going by. So I think they've already built that relationship, and I think they're going to choose Jonathan Brooks.
Okay. Well, at least we're
running back.
You have to get a running back there. We're both on that same
we
page.
got someone to protect him. Now we got to actually have a body to do.
Yeah, because I've never seen us this dry at that position. Like, we'd have nothing.
Yeah. So we have that. So we'll take offensive line, running back. Offensive tackle. And we are going to do 87 after that, round 3.
That's when I would think we're going to take Bortolini.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
So I have Bortolini.
He'll be available then.
But he's my center that I have. So I'm not taking a center before that. But you think the center. See, if we don't get Guyton, sorry, I forgot to say.
Take Barton in the 1st.
I actually had Junior Colson.
Really?
A linebacker from Michigan as my number 1 pick.
Okay.
So if we didn't get Guyton was my number 1.
I think we just need to let's quit putting that juju out there. Like, we kind of said like the what if.
Say Guyton. He's been on a lot of mock drafts too. So I feel like everyone is pushing Guyton towards us. So keep pushing.
Yeah.
He's 6'7", so you got to push a little bit harder.
Yeah. Boomer.
Right. All right. So that's our first 3. I know we don't have a 4th round pick. We could possibly try to trade if the cards are falling on us to try to get a 4th round, right? Don't you feel that?
Yeah, it's only like I'm thinking like if it comes close and like we're in that 2nd round.
Yeah.
If they're going, oh man, if the running backs start getting picked up, those phones will start working.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope they do too, because I don't want to pass. We have to get a running back in 2. I think it's clutch.
You have to because they're not going to go in there. You're going to have a lot left in the 2nd round that you need to go after. So
yeah.
And then after that, like I said, we got 174, 216, 233, and we have the last 2 in the 7th round or 6th round, right? Yeah. No, 7th.
We have 2 in the 7th. We got the one pick 233 we got from Vegas for that trade.
So, we could break it all down if there's anyone you want to shout out to them, but I think we stick with, like, I actually have those last ones, edge, defensive tackle, and another cornerback.
Yeah.
So I'm staying defense for those last ones.
Yeah, defense. You got to get. That's when we have to pad the linebacking position. Defensive tackle would probably even be more important because if you look at our run,
Jefferson from left LSU.
Yeah, just looking at our run defense or lack thereof last year, that's a big need. And it was easy to blame the linebackers on it, but yeah, that's a problem. We need a little bit more beef at that position, honestly. But if you see about it, like Mozzie Smith and them, they were getting tossed around in the front. They weren't getting pushed. They weren't getting through the line to hold it up and clog all those gaps for the other team. So I think that's one that we need to check on. So I would be looking at that for the late rounds, fourth probably.
Right.
That would be what I'd do. And then, so linebacker, defensive tackle, and then I'm not going to touch quarterback. I think we already drafted our quarterback last year. He's on our roster. That's why we don't have
Trey
fourth round
Lance?
pick. Yeah, it's Trey Lance.
You think so? So let me go to that, though. There's, I don't know if it's just Cowboys in the headlines and just trying to create something that's not, but it's clear that Dak has not been paid. He's going to ride out his contract this year. I mean, is there any chance that any of these rumors are true that we could trade Dak in this draft?
All right. Well, right off the bat, I'll say, well, there's always a chance, but I just don't see it. It's a weird thing, which is what's going on with Dak's in his contract right now. I mean, yeah, he's delivered to an extent, and he's a veteran, and he should be paid. I get that, but you got to look at what it takes for your team. I mean, especially when we have this many needs. I mean, this is unusual. I mean, we both agree, right? I mean, we usually don't have this many. Oh my goodness, we got to fix this quick position gaps. If you hold out for your contract and you get it, let's say you get it for that amount of money. Well, what's that going to do? That could be a reason people were probably scared. That's probably why they were taking, not all. I know there's some differences for other ones, but if, other people might have left because they're like, well, if they're going to end up paying Dak this amount of money, well, where are they going to take it from?
Right.
And that could hurt potential, draft picks that we get, free agency. That's probably why we didn't make any moves. They don't have to spend more before they lock in what they have. So like I said, there's always a chance. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't. I mean, he's entering in his ninth season. They do want him this year. I think if anything would have been made, I think it would have been traded before the draft.
And that's kind of where I was.
And I think they're just going to have it play out. And I could see us making a move on a quarterback next year. It just seems like with the way that everything's falling right now. Because if not, you not paying him, he has all the cards next year.
He does. I mean, he played
and
that
you got to pay CD. You got to pay Micah Parsons.
Yep.
Like, it's all coming up.
Which, you want to talk about CD?
Sure. Pay him.
Okay, good. I just wanted to hear you say it first. You have to. That's like non-negotiable.
I mean, with what it is right now, he had a stellar season. I mean, the guy is a difference maker. He deserves it. Pay him, and he will keep producing for us.
Yeah, it's that simple. Just pay him. That shouldn't even be a debate.
If on the board, out of those three, pay him. I think right now.
I think the only reason they haven't done it yet, and when I say yet, it's gonna happen. There's no way they're letting him walk. But the reason they haven't yet is probably because they're trying to get through the draft. They're still trying to look because, like you said, they still have Micah Parsons. Dak hasn't been decided fully yet.
Yeah,
there's a lot of key things, and they're just trying to maneuver it. But you got to pay him. I mean, he's a premium wide receiver. I mean, I think everyone can agree with that. He's right there with Jefferson, in my opinion.
He is, yeah.
So I expect him to get a contract in June, no later than July at the latest.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. So I feel good. I don't feel like we're losing him. I don't think we lose Dak this year. I think he becomes a free agent next year. I know he will be a free agent, but I don't know. I don't think we pay him.
Well, that's more probable. And that's why, like, going back to the quarterback thing, I think we're just going to, why not stick it out with Dak this year? I mean, we've already got someone that knows the position, right? Yeah. And all they can do is hopefully improve.
And he's a good quarterback, but for Jerry to say, I need to see some more cards, what you got with Dak is what you're getting.
We could have asked for over a fourth round pick.
He's not going to get stronger in his arm. He's going to get slower. I mean, he's just because he's in the league. I mean, he's getting older.
Well, he's more injury prone now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I want to see. Well, I'm just saying
injury prone.
Oh, they all are. I am. I'm getting older. We're not talking about me in the draft, though.
No.
But yeah, no. I think utilize that and develop Trey Lance this year. I don't know what's going to happen with Cooper Rush. I mean, Cooper's been a solid quarterback.
I would like to see Trey Lance take the second. I want to just see him.
That's where I think the move.
I feel like I haven't seen him at all. Yeah. So hopefully we can see what he does and just see his play and see if he is worth. Because at first I really thought we were getting him to maybe as a trading piece.
Yeah, but now the fact that they haven't, that's why I'm thinking we drafted our backup or maybe our future
Yeah.
last year with that trade.
So we'll see how it goes. But can we agree, are the Cowboys, I mean, it's talk of all in, but to me it feels like a rebuild. I mean, it has to be a rebuild. We're rebuilding all the people we just lost, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Like, this is what you call an all in, but we're rebuilding. So that being said, we're not going to just call it a rebuild and just flop this year. We're going to be competitive. But the things they need to do, they have to draft smart.
Yeah.
And I know that
and they normally do. I will give them
now.
credit.
They have been good
They
at
do
that.
draft smart.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Johnson is on the board this year, right? Is he on the advisory board?
Yes.
Come on, Jimmy. Give it to us. Give us good picks.
Yeah. No, if they do that, they also need to. That's why get the whole contract thing taken care of. And reason being, you got CD holding out, which I don't blame him. If he goes out and gets hurt right now, then he doesn't have a contract yet. That could really hurt him, like even more so financially or for his future.
Yeah, no, I get it. And that's agent talk, right?
You can't go all in if you don't have your team together.
Right.
In the offseason, like at everything. I mean, that's your unity aspect.
We saw what happened when Zeke came in late from Cabo, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he never really got into shape.
He never recovered from it. Yeah. So I just don't want that to happen to him. So I think we'll be all in while rebuilding this year.
I hope so. It's going to be hard. OU going to the SEC. Cowboys rebuilding might be a long season for me, right? Yeah. So we'll see. But, I mean, do they have a chance still in the NFC East?
I do, because we can't ever predict the NFC East. And, I mean, just because, like you see, the Giants have a long way to go. So, I mean, I would put us still over the Giants right now, even with the gaps. I'm sorry. I'm just that confident that they fell into a rut that they're going to take a lot longer. They are rebuilding. Yeah. They know it too. Yeah. So you got that. The Commanders, they got people from us, even a coach. But they also, we don't know how they're going to utilize everyone. We got to see what they do in the draft. But, it's the Commanders. So, it depends on how they
could
mesh.
have growing pains, and you can have too many
new additions.
People too, right? To where it just doesn't become a team. So,
and then the Eagles,
I'm not always NFC East is always. I mean, you talk about we've never had a repeat in a really long time. I mean, it's always switching.
It is. And so it's a dynamic conference, or division. Sorry, but it comes down to just which team puts their head on straight.
Right.
Because look at the Eagles. We were all scared of them last year through, week 9 basically, but then all of a sudden it just went down, and it went down hard.
Yeah.
So it depends on which Eagles team comes back.
And think about what they had on their team. You would never think a team like that would fall.
No, but they fell hard.
We'll see. I
think they have a chance.
I think Hurts was hurt a lot last year, so if he's healthy, we could see a different. And now you have Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
That he's passing to, and he doesn't have to run as much. But Saquon has to stay healthy too.
He does.
So we'll see how it shakes out. I'm praying that we can get out of the NFC East, but we'll find a way. We always do. It's still our year. Still our year. Cowboys are going to New Orleans. We're winning the Super Bowl. I want another one of those trophies that I just held.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, I'm excited about the Cowboys tonight, but I'm just excited about the draft in general. Yeah. I mean, what are you most excited about just as the draft in whole?
Well, and we've kind of illustrated that already just through our conversation, but it's this is the gateway to your next season, because this is the starting point.
Yeah.
The moves you make, especially tonight in the first round, the moves you make tonight set the baseline for how you're going to perform in the actual regular season. So you got to get your talent assessed. You got to close up your contracts. That's outside of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the business part. This is business too, but this is a fun one. I think the fans like it. I mean, look at the atmosphere that we're at, just knowing that we're going to get new players. Let's see what they do. Let's see what the opponents do. And it's good for the college people too. I mean, it's an exciting day for them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that the feel of just going, this is the 2024 season is about to start. It's going to start tonight.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I love. I love seeing kind of all the war rooms, the trades. I mean, it's just a fun night, but it's for the athletes. They've worked so hard to get here. Yeah. When your name gets called, it just has to be the most unbelievable. I mean, we talked, or I've interviewed a couple of NFL players and just talking about there. And I mean, it's a life-changing name, and you work so hard to get there. And it's just the excitement and the families, and just being here. I mean, the Cowboys right outside here are setting up, and they put on an unbelievable event. I will be in attendance tonight. So if you're here and you want to say hi, come over and say hi to us. But we are going to be there. The Cowboy cheerleaders are going to be performing. They have everything going with the vendors. I mean, it's a night for football fans just to celebrate. And then once we do this, it's like back to business. Let's get ready for the season.
Yeah. Well, and it's like you got the Stanley Cup playoffs going on in hockey right now. You've got baseball.
NBA finals.
NBA finals.
Or playoffs.
NBA playoffs are going on. You've got baseballs in full swing now, no pun intended. We haven't really had much football since, the Super Bowl. Like, this is the first time that football is going to be a focal point.
Yeah.
And it's not even like they're playing, but people will be focused on football tonight.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
awesome. All tuned in. And I mean, they make it a great performance. I mean, the people in Detroit, I think everyone probably does their own thing. Obviously, Dallas does an unbelievable thing. We've enjoyed going to it every year. So,
yeah.
But now, different. We are live at the Star on draft day.
Yeah.
So tell me what's the most exciting thing about being here on site for this?
Anytime you get to go to a Cowboys experience, it's awesome. But I'll tell you, coming in this morning when we were getting here, when I was pulling in, just going down like the Hall of Fame drive there with all the rings and, just the Ring of Honor, as it's called, and then seeing the Ford Center, the field with the star on it, and then going around, seeing all the players' banners in the parking lot, like on the light posts, and then coming into the office. Like, you can't really describe that feeling better than, wow.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, it's like we could do this from your studio, and it's fun. We still have just as much fun, but doesn't this just feel better? Like, it doesn't just take it to the next level. Just
knowing that it's all happening right behind me right now and just walking in. I mean, that's how I feel. Obviously, I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm down at the Star as much as possible just because I love everything about it, seeing the Star, seeing the walk, the Hall of Fame. Just being down here, just their little pump up promo videos, right? Where Dak is just like, it gets me excited. And I love it. It just brings me so much joy. And to be able to do my podcast here today on draft day is it's an unbelievable feeling. I mean, I'm so grateful and just so excited about what's to come with all of that. So it's just exciting.
Yeah,
I just love it.
It's a different element, but it's a good element.
I love it. I mean, it's great. As a football fan, you guys know my passion and stuff. Being here is just amazing. It's a different feeling.
Agreed.
So we'll see how that goes. But since it is the Cowboys, we're at the Star before we end the show so that we can get ready to watch draft night tonight. Let's just give our Cowboys one last pump up. Go get them, like Jimmy Johnson's speech at halftime of Green Bay.
I was about to say, Jimmy already took that one during the halftime speech.
That got me so pumped up.
I know. It's like, can you top that? Like, I wish I could get him to come in and tell you because it'd be the same thing. But I would just say, guys, start your future now. Mm-hmm. This is how the fight starts. Stick together. Work as a team. Work with each other. And just love the game.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. And see, I would look at it. I was like, look, tonight, when you get drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, you're wearing the Star. The Star has like a whole different meaning on it. Like, we embrace you. We love you. We want you to work hard for us. Fans can, have a love-hate relationship, but at the end of the day, we all have the same goal. So come in here, enjoy these wonderful facilities, and let's just get to work and go get that Lombardi trophy. Enjoy tonight. Let's get to work tomorrow. Right?
Go team.
Go team. But, well, thanks for being here, Sean. I appreciate you coming on my first kind of mobile podcast.
I help you start everything.
Yeah,
what are you talking
exactly.
about?
So
this is great. Thanks.
I'm excited. We're going to continue this offseason. I will be back to discuss everything that the draft day will bring once we see what everything does. But we will continue taking this to fun places. I have an exciting offseason. We're adding video so that you guys can see us more, see where we're at. Make sure you always go and like and subscribe the page, and we will be doing some giveaways and all the fun stuff. Off-season is just heating up, so make sure you stay with us on Lacey's Lineup. Enjoy draft night, and we will see you next week. Until then, your girl is signing off.